Hi, everyone, and welcome to the session entitled Forget Everything You Know About Historical Reenactments, Bringing Powerful Programming to Your Library. I am honored to be here today. My name is Cheryl Fay, and my company is called Cheryl Fay Presents Historical Women. I perform historical one-woman shows that I tour across the country. I go all over. I'm based in Massachusetts, but I have been everywhere. So I love what I do, and I'm excited to talk about what I do. And I thought the best way to really share what I do is to show you. So I thought we would go to my website, which is CherylFayPresents.com, and that is Cheryl with an S. So let me pull up my website. There we go. So I perform 10 different one-woman shows that I tour to libraries a lot. I also perform at schools. I perform at historical societies, senior centers, 55 plus communities, nursing homes, assisted living facilities, Girl Scout troops, birthday parties. I've done it all, in all sorts of various organizations. A lot of times people will have me as part of their meetings and things like that, to kind of tie in some entertainment, which is historical, educational, and entertaining. Is my hope. So I am at CherylFayPresents.com. Once again, Cheryl with an S, SHERYLFAYE presents.com. The historical women that I portray Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So I thought we'd just go to the page. There's a page for each of the ladies on my website. Let me move this over so you don't see me. And gives a little blurb about the show. I have different versions of my shows for children and adults. This is my newest show, and then also on the page you'll find some reviews from various places that I have performed around the world, and the time that the show is, and also the kind of, as far as the schools go, because I have different versions for schools, what it can kind of tie into curriculum wise. I give you just some suggestions. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg is one of my ladies. Now these are all multimedia shows. It's always my biggest challenge to kind of explain what I do, because people oftentimes think it's just a lecture or I'm just standing there in costume talking about these women. It's all done first person. I always start as an adult. I go back to their childhood and back to an adult again. I find that is really important, because a lot of times we know these women as adults, but we don't know a lot about their childhood. And just like you and I are impacted and affected by our childhood, so were they. So I find it interesting to kind of draw the connections, who they were, who they became, what did they overcome, to become these great, famous historical women that we know and love. Another lady that I portray is Sally Ride, America's first woman astronaut, the third woman to go up into space. This is always a very fun show. Again, I have different versions of my shows, and the show that I perform for schools has various experiments in it, because Sally Ride was a scientist, and I also ask for volunteers from the students for that, and they seem to really enjoy that. And I also send teacher materials ahead of time to help prepare the students. Helen Keller is another one of my ladies. This is a show that is loved by literally 5-year-olds to 95-year-olds. So you can't go wrong with Helen Keller. A really beautiful story about an incredible lady who overcame so much, wrote 12 books, met a dozen presidents, traveled the world, and her story is just incredible. Bring your tissues for this one. Next, Abigail Adams, another one of my ladies, a great first lady from history. that I portray. And I also, when I come and perform, I bring literally everything except for a table and some chairs. I've been doing this 19 years, so I try and make it very easy and be very low maintenance on your part, so that really you just have to provide me with a table and some chairs, depending on which character you choose. And every place has that. I always say there's no place I can't perform in. I've been doing this long enough. I've never had a problem. I figure it out. So I bring a beautiful sound system, a microphone, extension cords, is a beautiful screen with a rear projector, costumes, props, there's videos, there's slides, everything to really create a show. It is a show. People time and time again will say, wow, that was so much more than I expected, which I love hearing, but I also just want to do a better job about expressing what it is I do and what you are getting, basically. So Eleanor Roosevelt, another first lady, she's another one of my ladies that I portray. Been doing this show for, oh, maybe about 8 years now. Very well received. I performed her in Virginia, Tuskegee, Alabama, at the Tuskegee Airmen Museum. I had the honor of performing her and performing this show for the 75th anniversary of when Eleanor Roosevelt took the first flight with the first African American pilot. She wanted to go up in the plane, and they said, "Oh, I don't know. Let's call the president." And so they called the president, and he said, "Well, does Mrs. Roosevelt wish to go?" And there was no stopping Eleanor when she wanted to do something. So she went. She had a photographer take a picture immediately, and literally the rest is history. Performed this one a lot in New York too. I go all over, like I mentioned. Clara Barton, the founder of the American Red Cross. She was also one of the first female nurses during the Civil War, helped to make nursing a profession for ladies. She also opened a school for underprivileged children, but she's most known for being the president of the American Red Cross for 23 years, up until her 80s. So pretty incredible lady. And again, I start as an adult, go back to their childhood and back to an adult again. And like all my pages with my ladies, there will be reviews, because I always say, of course, I'm going to tell you my shows are great, but it means more, obviously, coming from other people than me. And I understand that. Laura Ingalls Wilder, another popular lady that I portray. I feel like we've all probably read those wonderful Little House books, or have seen the Little House on the Prairie on TV. So this is always a really fun one that children and adults really enjoy this one too, because they remember it. They grew up with her, so they love this one too. Susan B. Anthony. I debuted Susan B. Anthony for 2020 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the women getting the right to vote. And of course, COVID happened. So poor Susan B. Anthony, but a lot of bookings got switched to online. So what I did during COVID is I had all of my shows professionally pre-recorded, and I sold them with a certain hour of viewing time, and then had a Q&A after. I have a Q&A after all of my shows, and I do it in costume, but not in character. That way people can ask any question they want. A lot of times people want to ask about me, my background, aspects of the show. So they can ask anything and everything. So this is Susan B. Anthony, and I still have my online shows available today, and I still have people booking them for a variety of reasons. Whether it's COVID related, or maybe you're in California and you would like a show and your budget doesn't allow for travel, no problem. We can set up you to view it, very easy to view it, whether you are sharing your screen with a group of people. I've had a lot of libraries do that, or people sign up and you send them the link and the password, and they watch it on their own during that certain time frame that we've agreed upon. So there's different ways to do it. Amelia Earhart, always very, very popular. This I feel like this woman will always be popular. The world is fascinated with Amelia Earhart, as am I. And she's actually the woman that I started with 19 years ago. So I've been portraying Miss Amelia Earhart the longest. And she is great for libraries, historical societies, schools. I've done her for all ages. I have different versions of my shows for her as well, with all my ladies. And last but not least, Anne Frank. This is the only one that I don't start as an adult and go back to her childhood for various reasons. This one I actually played two different roles. Very beautiful, moving piece, and I hope it fills you and leaves you with a sense of love and hope, because that is what Anne was really all about. So a very powerful piece for children and adults. So those are my 10 ladies from history. I always put upcoming performances on my website if I have any public shows. I tend to do more private than public, so there aren't always a lot on the website, but whatever I do have that's public, I will post on there. And if you are nearby, I'd love for you to come and check out a performance. This is just a very partial view of clients that I've had in the past. Very partial view. I've been doing this almost 20 years. And a lot of reviews. You can also go on Google and see, I think I have like 40 5-star Google business reviews, so that's great. A little bit about me. You can learn about my background. I graduated from Emerson College, where I received a Bachelor of Fine Arts in acting. So I majored in acting, but I have won awards, perform all across the country, and this is what I love. Theater is my background, and I'm very excited to share what I love doing with you. So they are all available online. Here's some little clips that you can go on my website and you can view. I thought I would just show my newest one, my Ruth Bader Ginsburg show, but you can go on yourself.
Since 2003, Cheryl Fay has masterfully brought to life important historical women. In her one-woman show, she immerses the audience in a multimedia learning experience. Promise me you will never settle. Go for what you want, even when it's hard, and question everything that doesn't feel right.
Given your condition, I think we have to find a job around here with less responsibility. That'll mean less pay.
You're right, Mom. I like seeing people happy because of something I did. When I grow up, I want to change people's lives. I really do. I want to make a difference and change the world.
Promise me you will never settle for just anything. Go for what you want, even when it's hard, and question everything that doesn't feel right.
I promise. Now get some rest. I love you.
I love you too, honey.
Hello there. I'm Monty Ginsburg.
Pleased to meet you, Ruth Bader.
Ginsburg.
Correction, Professor. McGee didn't simply promise just to fix the hand. He promised, quote, a 100% good hand.
That's the same thing.
Is it, Mrs. Ginsburg?
It is not. Words matter. Surely being number one in my class would mean I would have my pick of jobs, right? Hello, my name is Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I would like to apply for the position.
No. This position is for men only.
Because that's what I wanted to do, Marty. I always thought I would be in the courtroom defending people, not teaching. I wanted to make a difference in the courtroom. So I started to defend clients in court for free. I'll never forget my first case. There I was, standing in front of the Supreme Court, looking up at this huge white building. Marty, I got it. I got it. Thanks to you, I got it. President Bill Clinton is nominating me for a seat on the Supreme Court. If if you get rid of it now, it would be like throwing your umbrella out in a rainstorm because you're not getting wet. Well, I couldn't convince the majority that day because I was in the minority. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you.
Since 2003, Cheryl Fay has masterfully brought to life important historical women to both children and adults across the U.S. In her one-woman show, she immerses the audience in a multimedia learning experience that captivates viewers and sparks their interest to explore more. Cheryl Fay Presents Historical Women is proud to present 9 one-woman shows: Helen Keller, Clara Barton, Eleanor Roosevelt, Laura Ingalls Wilder, Anne Frank, Amelia Earhart, Sally Ride, Abigail Adams, and Susan B. Anthony.
So you can, there we go. You can go on the website and you can watch other clips of other ladies. I also encourage you to go on my website, sign up for my newsletter. That way you're kept in the loop of new and exciting developments. I have a brand new character coming out next fall to celebrate my 20th anniversary. So you can sign up for that as well. My email address is info@cherylfay.com. Let me type it in here. It's Cheryl with an S. You can always send me an email, ask any questions, of course. If you prefer the phone, which sometimes is easier, so that way I can really answer all of your questions in a timely manner, you can call me at 866-936-6551. I'll put in the website again for those who missed it. I also do block bookings. If you are with the school system at all in New York, I'm registered with BOCES, so that helps with financing. I also, just to go back to block bookings, happy to give a discount if you can coordinate maybe more than one library or a library in a school the same day. I can help with the travel costs a little bit and sprinkle it around so it's a little more doable, because I know everyone has budgets, of course, but I do, of course, have to include travel in my price. So I thank you all so much for taking the time to watch. I'm really honored to have been a part of this Ed Cardigan Camp and Kindness Day, and a little tribute to Mr. Rogers. I've got my cardigan on. I hope you do, watching this as well. And thank you all so much for tuning in. And I would love the opportunity to make the past present with my historical women. So feel free to contact me. Thank you all so much. Take care.